just do a little practice here. A little singing here, practice. Find some good beats here. Hare Krishna. We're going to find some good beats here. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna. So we're finding to kind of find some different beats here and stuff. Hare Krishna. I'm putting them on the playlist. With two heads. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm on there actually a little later on. That I was just playing around, but yeah, I'm on that video. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Woo! Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare. Woo! Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Gauranga, 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 Nityananda, Nityananda, Oh, that was nice. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, whoa, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, whoa, woo, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ooh, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Whoa, yeah. Whoa. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, woo, yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Let's try some new beats today.
It's getting serious on this track, man.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Whoa, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Gauranga Nityananda, Gauranga Nityananda, 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 Nityananda. Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! Oh my God! Ah! Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ah! Woo! Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Whoa! Oh my Lord Krishna, Radhe. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda. Hare Krishna.
It's getting serious on this track, ma'am.
Krishna. Nothing like the holy name. I like that. It's so true. It causes phenomena. The holy name causes phenomena that everybody wanna. Holy name causes phenomena that everybody wanna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Keeps going back to this other track. I don't know why.
This is Floating from the Track.
DJ Raganuga, yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Gauranga, Nityananda, Gauranga, Nityananda, Gauranga, Nityananda, Gauranga, Nityananda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Gauranga, 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 Nityananda, 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 ah! Ah! Nityananda, 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 Nityananda. Woo! Ah! Nityananda, 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 Gauranga. Nityananda, Nimai Pandit, Nimai Pandit, Nimai Pandit, Vishvambara, 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 Nimai Pandit, My Pandit, Nimai Pandit, Nimai, Nimai Nitai, Nitai, Nimai Nitai, Nimai Gauranga, Nityananda Gauranga, Nityananda Gaura, 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 Nityananda. That was good. I don't think I saved that one.
Tracks today.
Oh, are you in Dharamsala again there, Vijay? Are you going to stay there in Dharamsala? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda. Ah! Whoa! Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda. Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Govinda, Radhe Govinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Purchase
Hare
your
Hare.
tracks today.
Nityananda Gauranga, Nityananda Krishna Gauranga. So you're gonna stay there? How long are you gonna stay there in Dharamsala there, Vijay? Gauranga, Nityananda, Gauranga, Nityananda, Nityananda, Nityananda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Maybe, are you going to be there in September? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Gauranga, Nityananda, Nityananda Gauranga.
Purchase your tracks today.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare blissed out there. Hare Krishna. I gotta take it a little easy on the voice, though. Hare Krishna. So let's study something here. Let's study Krishna. Ready to study Krishna a little bit? Let's study this person, this rascal. So we were reading from Srimad Bhagavatam earlier, and this was 11th canto, second chapter, 6th verse. So those who worship the demigods receive reciprocation from the demi. Okay, read that one. It's verse number 7. O Brahmana, although I am satisfied simply by seeing you, I still wish to inquire about those duties which give pleasure to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Any mortal who faithfully hears about them is freed from all kinds of fear. Yeah, the reason why we're feeling fear in this world is because we serve the Lord's Maya, which cuts us off from the transcendental potency. So the more we serve, Krishna's transcendental potency and his hearing, chanting, remembering, and if you go on the fast track, which is somehow or other you become favorable to hearing from ecstatic devotees who chant the holy names with this ecstasy and this bliss, this kind of crazy, wonderful, fun-loving, easy-going, not caring about, whether they're wearing neck beads or tila. It doesn't matter, because, the purification is not something, like putting on your forehead or, some ritual thing. It's ecstasy of chanting the names, And so, we can please the Lord on a level. See, they're just different levels of pleasing the Lord. So one level of pleasing the Lord is to follow the rules and regulations of the Vedas, and because it says that you're not really feeling very deeply the pleasure yourself, but there's pleasure in kind of knowing this is what the Lord wants, and this is what my Gurudev wants me to do. Okay? So you're not really feeling it usually much yet. But hey, man, that's great. You have faith in the scriptures, you have faith in Krishna, and that he's being pleased by doing activities that the scriptures list that to do. The to-do list and the not to-do list. You're doing that. So, but there's a fast track, and this is the one that's very mysterious, and it's not always revealed. Because basically most people are not ready for it. That's why Prabhupada said that this Caitanya-caritāmṛta is Chaitanya Lila is postgraduate, simply because there are principles in here that I'm telling everybody publicly, and most people react. They don't like it. They think, no, we don't like it. Most, was it Ayendra? We heard the story, won't say who it was from, but we heard the story that basically the leaders that are following the practice of Vaidhi Bhakti don't like ecstatic devotees, don't like deep realizations. They don't understand them. Okay? Jesus wasn't liked amongst the Pharisee intellectuals, they were leaders of the day. He wasn't liked. It's just always like this. It's kind of like that. So they don't like these principles. Therefore, out of mercy, the Lord teaches the lesser level, which is Vaidhi Bhakti, and people can accept that easier. That's the only reason. So now, because we got the order, I got the order, and I'm just preaching vigorously these principles. Hey, man, look at this ecstatic worship. You like this, man? Yeah, it's a bit crazy. It's a little bit odd. But, man, does it feel good to worship the Lord with this? My God, so much purification. You feel in that, man. Yeah, feeling him. You're feeling love. You're feeling devotion. You're feeling what they're talking about in the books. You're feeling these verses. You know, is that attractive to anybody? Because that's the only way it can be preached. And you see most devotees on the Vaidhi level, that are in the mass movements, they're not so attractive even yet. But some are. Look at, we got 7 people here now, usually 15, 20. And if you look at all the people that are kind of staying around, hanging around, coming as much as they can, they're about 40, 50 people. Maybe more, that are favorable. Say, yeah, it's kind of nice. I don't have much time for it because I got to work. I got a lot of this stuff, So anyway, gradually it seeps its way in, even to those who are doing Vaidhi Bhakti, especially when, the witnesses come forward. See, there's a witness program here because those who are coming forward, those who are hearing are getting purified. And so some are going through the stages. They got this ecstasy, right? You see this in our group. The ecstasy is there. But so is the contaminations coming out, and the ecstasy comes out, and the contamination comes out. And after a while, you'll see there'll be more ecstasy and less contamination. And the people say, wow, you're noticing that person looks happy. They're not like conflicted. So gradually, and that actually becomes more attractive. You say, well, maybe Gaurahari ain't so crazy. Yeah, look at these witnesses. They're standing up saying, wow, man, this is so much better than Vaidhi Bhakti. I didn't understand these verses. I mean, wouldn't it be nice to be able to relish these verses like Narottam Das Thakur did? Jiva Goswami, or Narottam said, he said to Jiva Goswami, are you going to teach me the Vedas? And Jiva Goswami, the greatest scholar ever, said, no, not that way. You're going to relish these verses in association with ecstatic devotees like Srinivas. Well, hey, man, that's happening here. You can relish these verses with Krishna Das Kaviraj. Many of the devotees already, that's your witness, man. You're standing up and say, man, I really kind of understand these things now. I'm relishing these verses with a Rasic devotee. Krishna Das Kaviraj right there in the book, man. And let me tell you what I'm being shown, by this way. And I stood up, for 25 years or 40 years, and I wasn't understanding like this. I was getting a little bit, but just a little bit. Now it's like it's just increasing more and quicker. See, that's the witness program. Okay? Because that's why Lord Chaitanya came here, right? Lord Chaitanya came here to preach what? Vaidhi Bhakti. He only did that because, he preached spontaneous devotion, but he left the path of Vaidhi because he knew many people wouldn't. As soon as he would go and his devotees start to dwindle, it'll all be people they can't reach that path. So what are they going to do? Well, give them the rules and regulations. And after a couple hundred years, that even disappeared. People were just lost faith in the Vaishnava path. But now it's coming back. We're already now preaching the 500 year ago preaching, what the Acharyas preach 500, Preaching, hey man, here's ecstatic devotion. Lord Chaitanya showed it, Nityananda showed it. His devotees were just joyously chanting the holy names and the pastimes and all this with great excessive joy. See, the symptoms of this bhakti is this excessive, man. Excessive bliss. You can't contain it. So bliss, you got to shout. Shout, stand up and shout for the Lord, jump up and down, it's just so intense. Yeah, so now the witnesses will come and say, yeah, it's really good and everything, and you'll see more people will start to come, And how are we doing that? Are we going out after them? Not really. We just go and come here and do sadhu sangha and just keep tasting the nectar of the holy name. Keep getting purified by doing sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha, and do some service for the mission, And gradually, by and by, we become more and more purified, more and more attractive. Why? Because Krishna starts to take over our lives, and Krishna is all attractive. It's not our bodies. What are our bodies? Pieces of crap from the dark, made of the darkness, man. Okay? But you fill that body with light, then it's a vigraha, this ecstatic devotion keeps purifying us, and it becomes filled with attractive light, man. People start to see it. Yeah? The problem is people are so used to the dark. They're so used to looking at the modes of nature. And the highest mode is the mode of goodness. You see regulative devotees. You see that. But where do you see the ecstatic devotees? Usually they're hidden. They hide. Prabhupada hid the ecstaticness of himself, more or less. I mean, you can't fully hide it, but he would go and be ecstatic, in his room. Bhakti Siddhanta is saying, well, they're hiding that light. See? Well, now is the time. This has Prabhupada's approval now. Yeah, put out that light. Let it out, man. I was also just keeping it for myself, I didn't know what to do with it. And then a couple of people started to come. And then Prabhupada said, yeah, now bring it out more. So yeah, I still wish to inquire about those duties which gives pleasure to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it gives some pleasure that people follow the rules and regulations, okay? But it gives the Lord excessive pleasure, the highest pleasure, when his devotees are ecstatic and are engaged in ecstatic worship. That is the Lord saying, this is my greatest pleasure. And what makes the Lord happy is when those devotees who are just giving the Lord pleasure, following the rules and regulations, and just having faith that, oh, this is I'm following it, I'm giving pleasure to the Lord because it says so in the Vedas, and my Guru says so also. So when they come and they start to associate with those who feel that pleasure of the Lord. See, because if you're feeling that excessive pleasure of the Lord, that means you and the Lord are now you realize that you and the Lord share the same heart. See? Caitanya-caritāmṛta. Adi Lila says that. The devotee and the Lord share the same heart. How many people know that they share the same heart? I mean, you could say, well, yeah, I know, because scriptures say that I and the Lord share the same heart. See, we're two birds in a tree. Yeah, but do you feel that? Do you actually experience that? The only way you can know that is you have to taste this bhakti, and not just a little bit, you have to taste it regularly, where it's dissolving all false identifications with you and me being the doer. Okay? And it does. The more you taste this bhakti, the more the coverings just peel off like the skins of an onion. And what are you left with? Oh, my God, I'm a servant of Krishna. No, well, do you know you're a servant? Yeah, see, the scriptures say I'm a servant of Krishna. Well, do you know like this? Well, I'm a servant of Krishna because when I do the right thing and I engage in devotional service, I feel this ecstatic bliss waken in my heart. And I know that's my job because that's the Lord's happiness. He's happy, and therefore because he's happy, that is my happiness. You see, that's gopi. Can you feel that? When you come here, you will. Okay? Because that's what comes from this ecstatic worship. You start to understand and represent Vrindavan. Okay? Vrindavan, the gopis represent Vrindavan. They say, Lord, it is your pleasure that is my pleasure. Okay? Now they're doing that from realization, and they're not bereft of pleasure. Believe me. They know that the greatest pleasure, their greatest pleasure, is the Lord's pleasure because they share the same heart. That's what you get associating with ecstatic devotees. Has anybody ever heard a realization like this? Has anybody even dreamed? I mean, you read it in the book, it says that the happiness of the gopis You know, this is what I say. Practical. Highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion. Here's the person that doesn't know that verse, it speculates. They say, yes, I'm not interested in my happiness. It look like this. You look in their face. I'm not interested I only want Krishna's happiness. See? See? Does that person know Krishna's happiness? No, not yet. They don't know personally. They're speculating, well, I think Krishna's over there and I'm over here, and therefore I'm not going to engage in sense enjoyment because, that's not making Krishna happy, but I'm going to make Krishna happy. But look at my face. They don't got it yet. Okay? So those who have it, that's the ecstatic devotees, because then you see the devotee that's engaged in spontaneous ecstatic worship. Not only do they have the amazing, most fabulous revelations and realizations about the absolute truth, according to the vision of revealed scriptures, but they have the pleasure of the Lord. They know how to please the Lord. And that pleasure of the Lord manifests through their body, through their emotions, and through their mind of having perfect, wonderful, conclusive realizations about the absolute truth. Okay. So that pleases the Lord the greatest. And so that devotee is a whole person. That person is his holiness or her holiness. See? Now you're whole. Holy means whole. And holy means sacred. Whole means sacred. Holy means sacred and whole. We are not complete without intimacy with God. That is what everybody is searching for out there. See? They're all looking out there, happy. Oh, that beautiful woman who is Krishna in disguise or in the stepped-down version of the material modes of nature. And all it does is you embrace that beautiful man or woman. What do? You get what? Passionate. Causes passion. Oh, you think a woman or a man is in the mode of goodness even? No, well, you look, wow, they're so beautiful. There must be at least a mode of goodness. No! Oh, you embrace and you start, let's procreate, let's have some sex. Let's kiss the bodies and let's get really deep into that. See? It causes that. Not even goodness, even. It brings you could be, it's like Ajamil. He was in the mode of goodness, being, doing a nice Brahmin thing and all this, and he saw a beautiful woman kissing a man, drinking wine or something, and he got passionate, and he went after the prostitute. Brought him down from the mode of goodness into the mode of passion to go and procreate, have children, had a bunch of kids. Lucky he named one Narayan. I am so stupid, but very fortunate, huh? Yeah. So anyway, that's it, man. See, the Lord's pleasure is that ecstasy. So everybody, if you can I'll keep repeating this, when you see an ecstatic devotee relishing the holy name in ecstasy, they just cracked it, man. They cracked it. They cracked the safe. That safe, they cracked it, man. And the Lord wants to make everybody easily crack it. See, crack the mystery. See? And that, all you have to do is hang in there with a devotee, even though it puts you through a bunch of shit, because all this stuff starts to come out, all your identifications, and they're a little bit, they come out, they're like these voices and these ghosts are coming out of you, man, and they say, come on, why don't you come with me, but go away from there, man, that we're gonna die, man, you're gonna crucified, man, don't you identify with me, and all this, don't you remember that story, that story is you. you, man. That story is you. Don't leave the story, man. Even though you kicked you in the face and your parents beat the shit out of you and all that stuff that Maya does over and over in every life, conditions you, to some modes and mixture of modes, it's just like, you don't want to leave that, do you? The smart person says, well, I think so. I've had enough of that. I think I'll go for this pleasing Krishna, and feeling good about it. I want to follow. See, whatever. That's why ultimately you have to see a devotee engaged in spontaneous devotional service, because whatever a great person does, and by the way, I'm not saying I'm great. I'm just a fool, number one. But if you get this spirit of devotion, that greatness works in you and gives you great intelligence, great ecstasy, great intelligence. Hey, man, that's just what happens. And so whatever that kind of person does, if they do it publicly or before their disciples or before whoever, common people follow. After a while, they say, hey, man, I think I want to worship Krishna with a smile on my face. Okay? I think I want to worship God in this intoxicated, wonderful state like Balaram does and Nityananda. And all the devotees do. Okay? And all you have to do, come to Sadhu Sangha regularly, man. Yeah. If that's important to you, you want to easily surpass the cycle of birth and death, you come here regularly. I guarantee you will get ecstasy. And we have people that have mental illness and they're becoming ecstatic because they're hanging in there, man. Just coming and listening and following that process that's actually taught in Prabhupada's books. Because people not getting the result, you're just not following the process, the formula. You just got to follow formula. See, formula is by the action of the book Bhagavad, man, and the devotee Bhagavad. See, chapter 1. Follow the formula, man. So many ways it's taught, and you just take one way, one angle taught in chapter 1 of Adi Leela by the action of the book Bhagavad. Everybody agrees Prabhupada's books are pure, right? Pure, written by a pure devotee, man. Krishna dictated them, right? Yeah, by the action of that book Bhagavad, man. Okay, there it is. But how about a person that's not qualified? They don't have this ecstasy, because the book Bhagavad says, by the action of the book Bhagavad and the devotee Bhagavad, absorbed in the mellows of devotion. By the way, those mellows of devotion are the right qualification for such devotees to instill those mellows in you. And if those mellows are in you, and you can taste this bhakti, and you can please the Lord where you become ecstatic because the Lord is ecstatic, then you are qualified to enter the kingdom of God, otherwise not. If you don't love these books, really, you literally have a love affair with these books and with these mantras, you ain't going to where those devotees are having a love affair with Krishna. Because Krishna comes here in the form of the holy names, pastimes, qualities. That's what we got here. Okay? And the door to that are the ecstatic devotees. And hey, man, kiss the ground if the Lord gives him the order to preach this stuff publicly. Because that's rare. You see, the disturbance it causes in your own selves. It disturbs the little demons inside you. It disturbs the little demigods inside you. You've been running your lives, all lives, incarnations. It upsets their rule over you, and sometimes they don't leave so willingly, do they? Little voices, don't do this, don't go to that, just leave this place. And we're driving them out. See, that's why Krishna doesn't always give this. You see, most of the devotees they're trying to put Krishna on the top of the crap. It doesn't work. That crap has to come out. You need a surgeon, man. You need a person empowered with the right methods, methodology, and techniques that are given by the Lord according to the time, place, and circumstance. to move the devotees into the transcendence. And they can give up this identifying with false ego identification. Otherwise, you can stay your whole life a materialistic Vaishnava. I mean, come on, look at the Christians. It was many, many, many generations from Moses to Jesus. When you came to Jesus, there were a lot of exorcisms, man. Even now, you see those who get the Holy Spirit, it causes exorcism. It exorcises out those ghosts and the demigod influences that you believed in that have been leading your life for many lifetimes. So, but now, if you hear the real voice, that voice Abram heard, see? That voice comes through the bona fide spiritual master. Again, chapter 1, Adi Lila says, when a person's ready to be delivered, he meets the bona fide spiritual master, who is the quality of the external manifestation of the supersoul. Well, what does that mean? It means, well, the supersoul is blissful and ecstatic. And therefore the external manifestation is also blissful and ecstatic. The supersoul is full of knowledge that you can't understand because you got all these blocks, man. You need a bit of a rooter out, man, right? You got all these blocks in. They're called anartas. Unwanted things blocking the way. And the main thing is speculation, ignorance, all those voices in here and out there telling you to misleading you. See, leading you, but leading you to miss the mark. See? You get the bona fide guru, they lead you now to the mark. No more misleading, they lead you to the mark. The mark is ecstatic devotion, man. Anybody out there, show me a better path. Show me a better goal than ecstatic devotion. Show me something better. Varnashram Dharma. No, that was rejected as the better path by Lord Chaitanya. Caitanya-caritāmṛta. Okay, Prabhupada taught it to get things going, man. Okay, who's ready to be progressive? Progressive means you follow what Lord Chaitanya's line, man. You follow in his foot. He's a great man, right? You follow in his footsteps. What did he say? Ramananda Roy in that conversation, in Chaitanya, postgraduate, Caitanya-caritāmṛta, come here and we'll give you an honorary entrance degree into postgraduate study of Caitanya-caritāmṛta, even without a pair of neck beads. You don't even need those preliminary stuff. Ramananda Roy said, Varnashram Dharma is the highest, and all this, and the Lord said, that's external devotional service. Okay, how many are still satisfied with even the word external, man? External, who likes external? Yeah, the Lord says, tell me something internal. What is going to get me the goal of this ecstatic devotion in this life? And ultimately, Ramananda Roy said, well, since you asked, since you're favorable to the truth, just give up your speculation. Listen to a devotee, hear from them, and just let all that stuff go by. Let those voices go. Let that demigod influence, the mode of goodness, saying that you got to be a Mr. or Mrs. Goody Two-Shoes all your life. That ain't going to save you yet. Oh, you get a nice demigod position. You come back in a nice position with wealth and respect and all that. Come on, man. Don't listen to that voice anymore. Or how about that stuff with the demons in it? Oh, just go against the devotees, man. Go against the ecstatic path, stuff like that. Or whatever, Go out and get married, man, and have lots of sex, or go to bars all day long. Yeah, if you're ready to stop listening to those voices, then you listen to a voice here of a bona fide guru who points you to the goal, man. Say, hey, man, just listen. See, Ramananda Roy said, those who give up those speculations and those voices and hear from a bona fide spiritual master about the name, the pastimes, the philosophy, the truth, distinguished from illusions. The highest truth is ecstatic love, distinguished from even the mode of goodness. Go right real quickly into spontaneous devotion and very quickly into finding out what they are as in their Ras in Vrindavan. They're like Rangaleka. He knows who he is. Yeah? And others getting there. Johan says, important is now that you are a transcendental boat that will bring you out of the misery world. Yeah. That's right. That's right. That's right. It's a lot in the pleasure of the Lord, isn't it? So any mortal who faithfully hears about them is freed from all kinds of fear. So you're actually freed hearing about how to please the Lord according to regulative devotion. There's some freedom from fear, but it's not perfect. I've seen it, man. I've seen people in Mayapur following gurus teaching Vaidhi Bhakti and rules and regulations and how to be Varnashram Dharma and how to be moral and to do nice pujas and all that. And I see them end up in the crazy house. I've seen, jumping off buildings. So it's not the safe position. Not to say everybody does that, but I've seen a lot of miserable Vaidhi Bhaktas go to Alatra and ask some people that live there. At least, we have our inside person over there. Tells me all kinds of how dry it is and all that stuff. You want to live in the desert? Well, stay in Vaidhi Bhakti. It's still pretty dry, man. You dry rounds, dry this, dry that, You want juice? Come here, man. Come on. Look at what's going on here. Juicy revelation. What guru? Have you heard any gurus talk like this? I haven't. Has any gurus have any realizations like this on a level without any neck beads or dhoti or anything? No big backing of groups. We got people surrendering their lives here, and there's no backing of any big organization. Matter of fact, the big organizations usually don't like what's being taught here. Here we're preaching about Lord Chaitanya and Radha and Krishna and all that, and we don't even wear a dhoti. Why is this flying? Why aren't there huge fall downs here? We're falling away from the path. Why are people not losing faith? The only ones who could lose faith a little bit while they're in the contaminated phase is you start to believe in the contamination. But still, Krishna will get you later on. Just pull you back. Crazy house, exactly. So how can the mode of goodness drive you to commit suicide? Well, not everybody is in the mode of goodness that are devotees. You can do devotional service in the mode of ignorance, mode of passion, and mode of goodness. Okay? If you're actually doing it in the true mode of goodness, you'll probably be happy. But happiness is still not going to save you. Okay? Happiness will just, there are a lot of happy demigods, but they have to stay here. They can't be like Narada Muni. They can't just see Narada Muni. He likes to go and preach in the material universe. He wants to liberate souls. He likes it. He's a pastime incarnation as a devotee. But he can go if he wants. I'll go see Krishna in Vaikuntha, or I'll go to Ayodhya. I'll go to Vrindavan. Why can he do that? Because he has attachment. He has transcendental attachment to the Lord in the spiritual dimension. How do you know that Narada Muni or any devotee in this world has transcendental attachment to Krishna? They chant his name and ecstasy awakens. Bliss, ecstatic bliss awakens. Because if you're not attached to Krishna, that can't happen. All you can do is Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Or you may have a little of thing, or maybe you fake it or something. Okay? Narada Muni, simply because he's attached to the holy name of Krishna, it gives him the passport and the visa to go to Vrindavan or any other dhams. He doesn't need permission, simply because he's a friend of Krishna, intimate friend. And we even heard he has a gopi body. That if we become attached to the Lord, then we can go wherever the Lord is. It's just like even Jesus taught this. He said, those who are my disciples, those who are my real disciples, those who really love me, they let them be where I am, they are. Where they are, I am. It's the same. That's the way it works. That's why you want to see Krishna. The best place is you come and you hear about Krishna from a real devotee who is deeply attached to Krishna on the ecstatic platform. And there you're going to get a better sense of Krishna, a better understanding of Krishna, a better experience of Krishna than you'll get anywhere else where persons Krishna is more distant. Krishna is more distant from them. They're more like, oh, God is over there. If you see where God is inside, the devotee is inside, man. He's blissful, he's ecstatic, he's conclusive, or she. That's why we know he, she. Conclusive, clear, deep. Those who are the real associate of Lord Chaitanya, their revelations and realization very deep. Very uncommon. Pablo, Miles, welcome to our residence here. Cyber residence, cyber worship, cyber temple here. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 2nd chapter, and this is verse 8. In the previous birth on this earth, I worshipped the Supreme Lord, Ananta, who alone can award liberation. But because I desired to have a child, I did not worship him for liberation. Thus I was bewildered by the Lord's illusory energy. I wonder who's talking here. Okay, anyway. My dear Lord, you are always true to your vow. Please instruct me clearly so that by your mercy I may easily free myself from material existence. Please instruct me clearly. Only the devotee who has realized Krishna intimately can instruct us clearly. Those who have the real mercy of Lord Chaitanya can instruct us clearly. Like the verse, Adi Lila, I think it's chapter 3 or 4, the first verse, very first verse, said, even a foolish child who gets the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And the mercy, you got to understand, how do you get that mercy? Usually you just can't get it directly, you got to get it through a devotee. If you pick it up through the book, which is a devotee, usually that's because you bring it in from a past life. You're bringing it in and you just carry on your devotional service, and you can pick it up from even the book Bhagavad. See? The devotee Bhagavad, the book Bhagavad. But generally not. Generally, most persons are going to get it through the book Bhagavad and the devotee Bhagavad, who is absorbed in the metals of devotion. Verse 98 through 100, Caitanya-caritāmṛta Adi Lila. Okay? Chapter 1. They're going to get it that way. See? So those devotees, because they worship the Lord with loving ecstasy, Bhagavad-Gita 10:10, they have the right understanding. That's what this is talking about. Please instruct me clearly. Okay? Because if you're not worshiping the Lord with loving ecstasy, that means unalloyed love, then your realization of the Lord, the right understanding won't be there, and you'll be more or less unclear. See? More or less. I mean, maybe you're clear enough to say, oh, come worship Krishna. Come do the rules and regulations. That's something. See? Yeah, but Prabhupada in the Nectar of Instruction said, such devotees cannot help you very well. Better you accept Uttamadhikari association if you can find it. Okay? Well, more madhyam, maybe higher madhyam, is going to be doing the preaching thing. Otherwise, if they're too elevated, they're just absorbed so much. And they rarely find those kind of persons. So please instruct me clearly so that by your mercy, see, when that's Guru, you get a clear, okay, so that verse, I didn't finish the verse. So, though even a foolish child who receives the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, so that mercy, can teach the pastimes of Krishna according to the vision of the revealed scriptures. See, the vision, that's that clear understanding. That's why it says the book Bhagavad, by the action of the book Bhagavad and the devotee Bhagavad. What is that action you're hearing? Sadhu Sangha, right? The action causes an action. Here, Sadhu Sangha, we're talking about Krishna. See? If you get a clear understanding, that means it's going to clearly direct you to the goal. But if a person hasn't realized Krishna and they're not absorbed in devotional mellows and they use the book Bhagavad, the result ain't going to be so good, ain't going to be so clear, is it? Isn't that logical? Am I saying anything that's not logical? Is that not clear? See, that it's not clear for most persons in Vaishnavism because they got the book Bhagavad, they got Prabhupada's books, okay? But the devotee Bhagavats are not really the standard of a devotee Bhagavat listed in that book. Therefore, we don't see the formula being realized of ecstatic devotion. So that formula is by the action of the book Bhagavad, verse 98 through 100. You can check it. Everybody check it sometime. Don't be lazy. Check it. By the action of the devotee and the book Bhagavad, who is absorbed in the mellows of devotion, those mellows of devotion are instilled in your heart. You, the listener, you, the believer, you, the hearer. And then the Lord comes under your control. It's all in that verse. Can you see why we don't see ecstatic devotees now after 50 years of following Prabhupada? Because you need the formula. It has to be exact. You need the book Bhagavad and the devotee Bhagavad, like the verse says, absorbed in the mellows of devotion, that you can actually see and hear. And then those mellows are very quickly transferred into your heart after it drives out the ghosts, drives out the demons, see? And the demigod influence and the speculations that they have. See? And then you're absorbed in the mellows too, like your Gurudev. And that is already happening here in our Sangha. Devotees are getting it. Not everybody, but according to their advancement. So beautiful, isn't it? This is what you can enjoy the beauty of these verses. And you can glorify them. It is so nice to me. I mean, it is one of my greatest joys to sit here and talk about clear, conclusive truth in the vision of the revealed scriptures that even you devotees can check. You can check it, man. You can look, really analyze every verse I'm telling you and what I tell you is related to, and see if I'm lying to you or bullshitting you or exaggerating. And then look at what's going on in our Sangha and see, is anybody getting the result of ecstatic love for believing these conceptions being taught here? You know, accepting this ecstasy that is being shown here? It's for intelligent people, man. So please instruct me clearly so that by your mercy, see the mercy of Gurudev, the clear conceptions taught by Sri Guru, the real one. Why? So I may be easily freed, set free, easily. You notice that, Janaki? You notice that, Johan? You notice that, Rangaleka? How many people do I have to note now how easily you're becoming freed? Why? because it matches, the book Bhagavat is matching where the devotee Bhagavat preaching to you. See, therefore you're easily freed, you're easily cleared of all this speculative baloney. And those who are not following the formula, look how hard they're working. Look at, they stay materialistic Vaishnavas from when Prabhupada elevated them from two-legged animal to Vaidhi Bhaktas, and they don't progress until they can accept Shiksha from such a place like this. Huh? They stay more or less on the same platform. They can't get above it, man. Because they speculating, the Ritviks are saying, oh, all I need is Prabhupada's books, but they're in the same position. Where's their ecstatic love? Most of them just finding fault all the time, finding fault with this preaching. Okay? And then you got the living gurus out there, not prancing around the stage, with all their disciples and everything. And Ayendra comes along and they just said, ooh, we don't like him. Or Gaur Govinda, we don't like him. Why? They don't like ecstatic devotees. They'll be prancing around the stage with all their followers and everything, and they will die with that false ego and that aversion until they accept the preaching once and for all of ecstatic devotees and ecstatic devotions, are pointing things out so doggone clear and not hiding anything. Listen to Johan's dream there, Janaki, and get up there and make it a reality. Start reading publicly again. Make his dream a realized dream. So I may easily free myself from material existence. See, so that's the path. Isn't that the path? In so many ways. It says it right here. It says it in Caitanya-caritāmṛta by the action of the book in Devotee Bhagavad. It says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, verse 18. See, by regular classes in Srimad Bhagavatam and by service to the pure devotee. See, if you hear from a realized devotee, all that's troublesome to the heart, that's all that demigod and demon influence that's inside you, those voices they're being driven out of you, all that it's troubles, man, cause you troubles, man, it's coming out. You're listening, it's driving it out, doing some sort of driving it out. So that the love of God awakens in your heart as an irrevocable fact, man. Then you start listening to the voice of the Lord in your own heart, man. You read these scriptures, and the Lord says to your transcendental ear, awakened ear, oh, isn't this wonderful? This is what the real meaning of the verse is, and all that stuff. And then, out of mercy, you preach that to the world, and they start getting free of all the speculation that they've taken on board out here in this Maya. Just told Gadi Prabhu, I was the most fortunate person in the world. I have you. Oh, really? Okay. All right. So I may be easily freed from material existence, which is full of many dangers and keeps us constantly bound in fear. Okay? And you'll see, man, like when this path and this purification, and you get really like your mind now and your heart, your whole being rests in bliss. The bliss of the truth, man. The truth sets you free, man. And now you don't believe in speculation. You don't believe in those unrealized gurus. You don't believe in the Ritviks who are still trying to understand Krishna. They don't get it. But you get it because you're following the real path, man. You're an example of the real path. Therefore, the Lord blesses you with direct service to Him. You look at these verses and He shows you who He is and what He is. You chant the holy name and he shows you, this is me. I am pleased with you. And this is because I'm pleased with you. I'm awakening in your heart. This is my ecstasy and you can partake of this sacrifice with me. That's pretty intimate, isn't it? Therefore, why should you be afraid? You have the Lord. You have relationship with the Lord awakened now. And then all you do is take shelter. Now you know what the Lord likes, right? What does the Lord like? He loves these scriptures, right? You take shelter there. You keep feeding the Lord in your own heart. That's your job. You're a servant. I'm a servant. We're all servants. We keep doing. He likes sadhu sangha. He likes to be with his devotees. You go where he loves ecstatic devotees. He thinks, oh, it's great. You're going to Vedic Bhaktis. They don't have a real clear understanding of me. But man, he'll become really ecstatic in your own heart and reveal so much more when you develop faith in ecstatic devotees that even the Vedic Bhaktas don't believe in yet. You get even more free of fears, more free of ghosts, more free of speculation, because they're not free yet. Only the intimate devotees are free of speculation. Speculation doesn't make me happy, man. I just want to see the direct understanding of the verse, man. And that's what I want to preach, is what I directly see as it is. And just, my happiness is if the Lord through me can use me as an instrument to make it more clear to me and everybody else. And I'm happy. And then I check it myself. Is that what it really means? Yeah. See? So that's why devotees don't speculate. Whatever the Lord gives them, a person who has realized the Lord gives them revelation, then they look, yeah, man, that makes more sense than anything I heard before. Man, that seems perfect. Thank you, Lord. Okay? So anybody else, any Ritvik, any living guru, can you say that when you preach something and everything, you can look at what you preached and match it to the verse? Where it matches like you can't see any difference? Can you be honest enough to do that? Well, if you do, then you'll start liberating those who believe in you. You'll start clearing those who come to you for real clarity. But if you don't worship the Lord with loving ecstasy, well, with unalloyed love, well, that's not for you. You can't, the book says, I'm sorry, man. If you can just admit it to yourself and to your disciples, you can't liberate them. You can't bring them to Goloka Vrindavan. And that's only those, see, again, the verses, to confirm this. It's not through mantra yoga. This is in Caitanya-caritāmṛta. It's not through mantra yoga. It's not through, and the Bhagavatam. Not through mantra yoga. It's not through sadhana. It's not through like sadhana bhakti. It's not through pious deeds. It's not through renunciation or austerities that one can attain Krishna of Vrindavan. It is only through those devotees who chant the holy name with great ecstatic love, pure ecstatic love, loving ecstasy, unalloyed love. Only through them, through their vibration of their word, their clarity, their realizing, their ecstasy, you can attain. That is a narrow gate. You cannot enter Goloka except that way. Not through offensive chanting, not through associating with gurus or ritviks who are adverse to such devotees. Does that make any sense to anybody out there? Or am I speaking to the wilderness? Now I have the Joker in our hands. Exactly! You need the Joker, man. The Joker, though, is the wild card. Very wild, man. You notice the Joker's wild. Jokers are wild, man. You know? Beats everything. That's right. That is so esoteric, man. You need the Joker. Jokers are wild. Narada said, "Oh, best of the Savatas, you have correctly asked about the eternal." See, there you go. You see, he's inquiring from Narada Muni. See, addressing him as Lord. See, because the real guru, see, Narada Muni, what are his qualities? Everything we're discussing. Yeah, don't we read Narada Muni's in Chaitanya Mangal? He's going through the universe, he's chanting the holy names, and he's laughing and he's crying and all this stuff, you know, right? See, that's his qualification. He's done that a lot. He's cleaned out, and now he just goes around and ecstatically worships Krishna forever. You know, no more speculation, nothing. So he's the one he can give the clear information. You find a Narada Muni out there who also laughs and cries and everything. So they're going to give you the clear deal how you can quickly get liberated from material existence and be free of fear. Nobody wants to be afraid, do they? So, oh, best of the Safed, you correctly asked about the eternal duty of the living entity towards the Supreme Lord. Such devotional service to the Lord is so potent that its performance can purify the entire universe. So now, you see, he's talking about pure devotional service. Okay? Or Vaidhi Bhakti too, because that will also purify the universe of those who take to it, but more gradually. A lot more gradually. Pure devotional service. Oh, now so I just went there. So that's, both are true. So if you want to take the gradual, you want to take the quick way, if you're like qualified for that and you can't understand, if it sounds like gobbledygook that I'm speaking here, okay, do the Vaidhi Bhakti. That's great. Have faith in that. Okay? But with now, Narada Muni is qualifying the kind of devotional service he's talking about is the pure devotional service. That's that unalloyed love, that loving ecstasy, see, the stuff that gives clarity, the right understanding, that kind of devotional service. Okay. So pure devotional service rendered to the Supreme Lord. See, pure, what is that? Rendered pure devotional service. This is very simply put. When devotees chant the holy name and ecstasy awakes in their heart. See? That's pure devotional service. See, it's pure. Anybody who chants the holy name in ecstasy, there is no alloy in that. It's just pure happiness, pure rapture, pure transcendental sense gratification without any alloy. There's nothing in that. No impurities in it. It is a fire. Any impurities that are around become consumed by pure devotional service. And if you make the right connection, and that connection is here, could be somewhere else, but you got to see the qualities of where it is. And we teach about that. If it's somewhere else, look for the qualities, look for the symptoms. Pure devotional service is like a fire. Anything fed into it, speculations, all that. And Lord Chaitanya, that's the easy way. He came as Lord Chaitanya, and he teaches that path through his real devotees now. And if it's being taught, and it is in 2019, how to catch that pure devotional prema, to burn away all your speculation. See, if you just make the right connection and you believe in the real guru and they've got the order to distribute, see, like the Lord did, like his devotees did, distribute indiscriminately, pure devotional service. Who will take it? Who will take it? You just say, I'll take it. I'll take it. No matter what, I'll take it. I believe in it. Otherwise, if you believe in those, oh, that's impossible. Oh, it takes many lifetimes to get pure devotion. Oh, my Guru Dev said this and said that and all that. Well, hey, man, you can't listen. You can't come. You cannot get this indiscriminate distribution of pure devotional service yet. But maybe when you see the witnesses getting it, you might say, hey, man, maybe I should listen. See, we caught one big fish there, that Rangaleka. He's like this wild tuna. We caught a Johann. So, pure devotional service rendered to the Supreme Lord is spiritually so potent that simply by hearing about such transcendental service, see, by chanting its glories in response, by meditating on it, by respectfully and faithfully accepting it, see, or by praising the devotional service of others, even persons who hate the demigods, and all other living beings can be immediately purified. So let's talk about that. Let's magnify, clarify that. Pure devotional service rendered to the Supreme Lord. That means you have to meet a devotee engaged in pure devotional service. Okay? Is so spiritually potent that simply by hearing about such transcendental service. So you need to really hear from a devotee engaged in that kind of service. Okay? Because those devotees, they like to talk about it. Now, there's two types of devotees who might be talking about it. So one devotee is realized pure devotional service. It's so good, they just want. They're not, and if they get the order and and they'll want to glorify it. Like I got the order, Prabhupada, glorify this now. My approval. Okay, great. Let's do that. I like that, man. Okay? So, hearing about these qualities is so powerful, so amazing, so clear. Okay? Tells you the clear path. Okay? Hearing about such transcendental service by chanting its glories, chanting it. Chanting its glories, what is the nature of pure devotional service? How powerful is it? What can it do for you? How nice it is to be able to read the scriptures and become ecstatic. How wonderful it is to see. These are the glories of the holy name and the pastimes and pure devotional service. Hearing its glories. Where are you going to hear that? Well, you can either hear it from those who haven't realized it themselves, but they're going to speculate, so it's not as good as hearing it from those who are realized it, those who chant the holy names in ecstatic love. Okay? They're experienced devotees, experiencing pure devotional service. Okay? By meditating on it, you hear and you meditate on these principles. By being respectful and faithfully accepting it. Here we're preaching it. Being faithful, coming to the point by hearing, becoming faithful and respecting what is being preached here. That's powerful, man. Just giving some respect to it. Giving respect to what we're preaching. Respect to what we conclude here. Respect for this ecstatic love. Respect for this preaching. It's so powerful. Faithfully accepting it. Giving respect and faithfully expecting it. But to do that, you have to hear enough. You have to hear. You have to associate. You got to see. You got to look at the devotees. What's happening with them? Are they getting something from being here and developing faith in what's being preached here, what's being shown here, what's being taught here? What is happening to the witnesses that are dedicating their hearing and their serving to this here? What is going in there? What is fructifying? Is anything fructifying in them? You got to become intelligent, right? Intelligent like this, not like, I'm going to this Guru Dev because he has a big following, man. A lot of people believe in him. He's branching around the stage. He's got nice tilak and all that. Well, what about the fruits? What's happening with his disciples? Hey, look at that. Or Ritvix. Ritvik's saying, yeah, we got the right thing, Prabhupada, believe in us and listen to us and all that. Well, what's fructifying in you from doing that, or anybody else? Look around. Hey, man, learn the simple teachings of Jesus. Good trees don't produce bad fruits. Transcendental trees don't produce bad fruits. Transcendental trees, if it's a real one, a true vine that Jesus is talking about, will produce some transcendental fructification of ecstatic love. Right? It's common sense. Or by praising the devotional service of others. Okay? See, now you see people engage. You see a devotee engage in pure devotion. Say a guru. Starts with a guru. Okay? Oh, he's very good and all that. Or you're or praising, oh my God, brother. Oh, this person, he's got this ecstatic love. Oh, he's very fortunate. Oh, that you're very fortunate for that and everything. Just see, because most people are envious of that, and that's okay, because that may be a little, because it's kind of mixed in there. But still, praising also that, wow, that's really amazing. Oh, you're so fortunate. Oh, can I get some mercy like that? That's very amazing, very powerful. Can be immediately purified. See, immediately. Okay? We're purified by the association of devotees engaged in spontaneous devotional service. Okay? By being, just simply by accepting it, you're immediately purified. Your sins are purified. But if you don't accept, then you I don't accept. Okay, so anyway, our work is to help people understand what we're doing here. I wish I could speak some more, but my voice, I have to rest it, otherwise I'll just blow it out, man. Tony Robbins, he poor guy, he has ruined his voice. I was looking, because he's very passionate about what he does on stage and everything, but he goes so far, man. So it's like, so he's blown his voice out. He just can barely talk and all that. Anyway, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. Plus, it's enough. We take this in, meditate on these things, meditate on these verses, chant the holy names, check out, and if you're new here, I really advise, look at the progress of the witnesses, because that's a real faith builder. Look at the devotees here and check their pages out, what they're saying, what they're experiencing, what they're sharing in their videos. Because I think we have the most amount of people, so many people going up, because they're getting so much. They like to go up and share now many things, and you can learn about what we're doing here. What we're doing is a very rare and a very mysterious path here. And if you check it out, if you really want Krishna and you really want to know where truth is to this extent, man, check out what's going on here. Check out the witnesses. Check out their videos, man. Check out the fruits. By their fruits they shall be known. What we're doing shall be known. Okay? They are growing more and more every day. So thank you very much and have an awesome day. Hare Krishna. We'll be back maybe again tonight. Let's see.